Okay, welcome back to the channel. So the video that I had planned today, which was the wheel bearings in the rear wheel, somehow got corrupt. For some reason, this GoPro was shutting off after a couple of minutes and then corrupting the file. So I didn't really have anything to do. What I did do was I stripped this fender down because the same place is doing the rear tire, mounting it, balance it does paint. So I stripped this down. I still got the front tire to bring down. Excuse me, what else do we do? Oh yeah, we pull off all the lights. I did get a new light, but I had to take it off. That's that Drag Specialties light over there. So today I think what we're going to do is we're going to work on taking the front end apart because I need to get the front fender off. So when I can bring that down when I go pick up my tire and drop this front fender off and get an estimate. Because it looks like this back fender is going to have to be repainted too. I didn't think it was going to be. But the way those lights mount, it doesn't cover this completely up, and it exposes this, so I'm just going to get the rear fender painted. So, all right, so let's start working on taking the front end apart. All right,
Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to take everything off the front end. We got to take the passing lights out, the blinkers, all the cheap metal that's on there that holds everything in, because that's all going to be replaced. The only thing I'm probably going to save is the headlight. I think I can probably reuse that. But as far as the spotlights, the brackets are all rusted. I don't think I'm going to keep anything. The one I'm working on right now, I might actually keep that light. That light is not damaged. But the other one, the light is damaged on it. So it's basically everything on there is going to have to go.
Yeah, this stuff is going. It's pretty cheap metal. So where am I? And none of this stuff is going to be reused. I'm getting all new lights and new mounts.
So I'm not really sure what the previous owner was thinking by putting those little turn signals on the front. You can barely see them when they're on. So I'm not sure what the thought process was. You can see all the massive wires that just terrible wiring jobs.
See, this
it's the same thing with the FLH. When I got the FLH, the wiring on that was horrendous. So it's going to have to be a completely rewired bike.
Modulator thing there where you don't have to hold the buttons and you press it and the turn signals will stay on for like 10 seconds. So let's disconnect some of this stuff. We could pull the wiring harness out. Because I would like to get this fender off today because they just called me and told me my tire's ready. So I can bring this fender down and the rear fender down and get an estimate on what it's going to cost to fix. Okay, so we got the brake line removed. I think we can probably maybe lower this. Let me look and see what else I want to get off here before I disconnect some of these wires over here. A lot of these wires are just going to have to be cut because they're all wire tied in. And
so I was thinking about just buying the FX wiring harness, but this bike is not wired according to the service manual. It doesn't have a control module in it. The ignition timing is not correct. Well, it's correct on this bike, but they don't have the stock one. So basically, you could really rewire this bike just like the FL. Pretty basic stuff, so I'm going to be buying just some wiring and setting my own wiring harness up.
okay, this camera keeps cutting out, so anyway, let me look at some of this right quick. Yeah, this camera keeps cutting out, so I took the wiring harness out here and I'll lay it out and figure out what's going on later. These are just the hand control wiring, so I did cut those so I know what's going on. So we got to take the wheel off. Now we get the wheel off, put another jack up underneath here, get that off the chock. We can get the wheel off, get the fender off, and then we'll see what's going on. I'm going to go get my other GoPro, my GoPro 4, and see how well that works.
Okay, so the footage you're going to see from now on is pretty much going to be out of my GoPro 4. I don't know what's going on with my, what is it, a GoPro 9 that I've got. It keeps cutting out after a few minutes. I don't know if it's the aftermarket batteries that I've got in it. I did have to get some new batteries because the other ones were swollen up. So we're going to see how things work out with this GoPro 4. I am taking off the risers right now because I want to get the handlebars off. In the end, I ended up having to just... The handlebars have to be junked because they're bent, because I'm pretty sure this bike was laid down at some point. And I ended up cutting all the controls because I could not get the wires out of the inside of the handlebars. So I'm going to have to be buying... I'm just going to buy the handlebar controls like I did for the FLH. They're already made with all the switches on it. Rather than me buying the switches and soldering, you can just buy the whole thing. I still have the wiring harness that I bought for the FLH for the rear part, which for the stoplights. Same thing, it's basically, you know, all the same kind of wiring. So I'm going to kind of set it up like that. Okay, so right here I'm going to be pulling out the axle. I have to strap the back of the bike down because there's no weight on the back, so it's basically going to drop the front end because all the weight is on the front end now. So when I pull the axle out, it's actually going to drop the front end, and I'll have to go back and put the hold-down straps in the back of the bike to kind of keep the back down while I take the tire out. So you can see that as soon as I pull the axle out, that front end is going to drop down a little bit. Okay, so here I am strapping the back of the bike down. Right now the forks are resting on the chock on the front. And as soon as I strap this down, that front end will come up so I can take the tubes out. Right now I'm taking the clutch cable support bracket off the frame. There is, I think it's just held on with a Phillips screwdriver if I remember right.
Speedometer drive unit. And we're going to have to look. See, when this thing spins, I don't know how good this is coming in. That's what regulates that's what turns the speedometer cable. So we'll have to look at this a little bit closer. Feels kind of gritty, so maybe I'll replace that and put a new cable on it.
So now I'm taking the caps off the top of the tube. I took the screw out of the bottom to allow the fork oil to drain, but it's not draining very well until you take that top cap off, and you'll see it's going to come pouring out in the bottom here as soon as I get some air going through the top. Alright, so that GoPro that's up there is died. It's not working, so I hate to think I'm going to have to get on and get another one. Okay, so you can see now it's kind of pouring out now that you can take that cap off. It allows air to come in, and yeah, that fork oil, by the looks of it, hasn't been changed for a while. And you'll see the other fork is exactly the same way. That fork oil is pretty much black, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be a lot lighter than what it is. We'll let that drain for a minute. So that's pretty bad. I'll knock this all over the place, but yeah, it should be almost that color. So who knows when the last time that was changed? Don't know. So this oil looks a little better, although it is still kind of it is still kind of gunky though, but it looks a lot cleaner than the other side. So right now I'm going to be removing the cans from both sides of the forks. Then we found out later on, probably going to be in a video later on, that they actually had the wrong seals in this front end, and the tubes themselves were basically kind of rusted into the triple tree. They did not want to come out at all. It seems like this bike here, everything is like frozen on this bike. None of the bolts want to move the way they should. They don't want to come out. And still to this day, I have not been able to take the top caps off to check the springs. I've tried everything to get those top pieces off, and they just won't come out.
I got a feeling these are not going
to. Okay, you can see the tops of these are, at least this one anyway, is all rusted. That's why I couldn't get the triple tree off. It's all rusted in there, so we'll clean that up. And let me finish pulling these off. We'll clean that up because we're going to rebuild this whole front end. And then we'll take a look and see what the head bearings look like. Okay, so my other camera, it's not working right. So we're going to have to use this older GoPro. This is a Hero 4 black. Still works. It's still 4K. Battery might be not as good as the other one, but we'll make do. So we've got the top part of the triple tree off. And you can see it's got rust in here. So that's what was stopping the legs from coming down. So I started to take the adjuster nut off. Even with that loose, this is really not moving smooth. So we're going to finish taking this off.
Yeah, that top adjuster nut was pretty hard to take off. All the grease in those bearings had basically solidified, so it was pretty hard to get off. In fact, the dust shields, the grease, I had to scrape off the grease. It was almost like, you know, rock like hard on there. So because who knows when the last time this front end was actually ever serviced or ever taken apart, but the grease on there was absolutely terrible.
So you can see how bad this grease is. It doesn't even want to turn this bearing. So yeah, it doesn't, I can't even turn it. So the grease in here is solidified. So no wonder it was turning so hard. It turns a little easier on here. And I'm still seeing, what's on, this says LC. Is there any number on this? There's no number on it, but. So you can see how bad the grease is on here. It's like hard. So who knows when the last time these bearings were done, but we're going to redo them anyway. Probably have to put new races in. These caps, I had a set of caps for the FL, for the, I think it was FL, yeah, the FL. They didn't really fit right, so we're going to see, and they're brand new, so I'm going to see if they'll fit on here. And we'll figure this out. So, okay, that's going to do it for this video. So we got the bike completely apart now. I got parts everywhere. We're going to be rebuilding the front end. Got a lot of work to do on this bike. Luckily, we're at the end of, not the end of October, maybe the third week in October, but so we got plenty of time to get this bike done. If I don't finish it by my target date of May or June, then we don't finish it. It's that simple. Fenders are going to be going to the shop tomorrow to get an estimate on having the fenders painted. I should be having the cylinders and heads back. I asked him if I'd have them back before Thanksgiving. He said yeah, so probably about another month, but we got plenty to do. We're going to sand the frame down. We're going to paint the frame. Then we'll start working on the head bearings, putting new bearings in, working on the front end. Get the front end done, get the swing arm done, that way we can get the tires on. We don't actually need to take the front tire off to put the front fender on, which is nice. So we can put the tire on because you can just squeeze the sides of that front fender a little bit and it comes right off. So then we can get the wheels on and we'll move forward. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.